Welcome to My Daily Thread. It's a great little place to get a snippet of wisdom from the yoga and the meditation masters to start or to end your day. I'm Jeff Lichty. All right, welcome back to the show, My Daily Thread. Looking for that snippet of wisdom. Currently, we are working with the Patañjali Yoga Sūtras, Chapter 2, Verse 9, and this is what Patañjali says. He says, svarasavāhī viduṣo'pi tathārūḍho'bhiniveśaḥ. Ooh. And what does that mean? Well, the fear of death is inherent in all beings, even the wise. This fear is inherent in everyone. It doesn't matter what your academic training is. It doesn't matter what job or career you have. It doesn't matter your gender. None of that matters. The fear of death is inherent in all beings. It's also translated as the clinging to life. I can say, having witnessed a few deaths in my life, having seen some tragic ones, having seen some peaceful ones when I was a medic, from these experiences, I would tend to agree with Patañjali. I think it's likely true. Most people, even the learned, have a fear of death. More often than not, people are fighting like crazy to try and save their life. So let's unpack it a little bit more. If we recall rāga and dveśa, we are having a memory of rāga, pleasure, or we're having a memory of pain, and we're either attaching to the pleasure or pushing away or creating aversion to the pain. But there's this component of memory, and this is where the commentators launch us in a whole different direction. Vyāsa is saying the very fact that we have this deeply embedded fear, and now this is them, not me, proves that we've had previous lives. Ooh, how's that for reincarnation, rebirth, and an introduction to things Buddhism and Hinduism? But there's also some belief that in early Christianity, there was a belief in reincarnation or rebirth. Of course, it was rejected later. I'm trying to get that clarified by some brilliant scholars that I know, and I'll let you know if I find out more from them. But regardless, it doesn't matter. This definition of abhiniveśa opens up a whole discussion about karma, reincarnation, and rebirth. Now, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about karma tomorrow. It is a tricky conversation that I don't know a ton about, but you know what? Let's see. I'll maybe launch a little bit into that tomorrow and talk about that. But this idea that having this deeply embedded fear proves that we've gone through a death before is what the commentators basically are saying. So what's a little different here? You think about rāga and dveśa, and we think about how those, again, that's the pleasure and pain principles. Those kleśas arise from our personal experience. Abhiniveśa is much different. It's deeply embedded somewhere that is way beyond our personal experience or knowledge, and it comes down to like basic survival instincts. But, I'm not a literalist. I think with any of these spiritual scriptures, texts, or writings, we have an opportunity to expand our interpretations. And in this case, to me, one of the key words is fear. If we look deeply enough, fear can be the thread that really drives a lot of unconscious behavior. There's this avoidance of things. So if we were to shift away from the literal fear of death, we could also see that there's deep attachment to, say, our identity, to our comfort, to the way things are. And I'll tell you what, we don't need to go any further than the news today when the trade tariff wars started between the U.S. and Canada. I listened to the news for about 30 minutes today, and there is so much fear from everyone. I had to turn it off. The news makes this sound like we're on the verge of Armageddon. Fear of death aside, fear itself is not a good advisor. So all I can say for now is fear activates that fight, flight, or freeze response, doesn't it? And often puts us into inaction. We resist change, we resist growth, but always with fear comes opportunity. Opportunities to learn, to grow, and to give up ways of being that no longer serve us. Wouldn't this be interesting if Canada as a country now gets this great opportunity to grow, to become independent, to start to learn to work together and not be stuck in political partisanship? Wouldn't that be great? Couldn't we channel our fears in that way? I'll leave you with this. It's from my teacher Patabi. You breathe. Take a big exhale. Let it go. We're still around. We're still doing our thing. And most of us aren't at the moment of our death. Ooh, nothing like leaving on a heavy note. Breathe in, friends. We're going to get through it. I know we will. Om. Peace out. As a post-show note, could you give us a good review on the podcast provider you use to listen? That'd be great. Helps us in the podcast world. Peace out.